1990 Ferrari. This is going to get a 134 conversion. Consider this one just a rug rat, just trash left on the side of the road. And these things are like cockroaches here in San Francisco, everywhere. So it had basically only 4 psi of pressure in it, 5 psi of pressure. Been sitting for years. Moisture laden. I could smell that with the refrigerant that came out of it when I pressed the depressor. Not changing the receiver dryer. They're doing it a cheap way. Has miles of hose that's old, and but no big leaker. So what I'm performing here, this is just going to be a quick demo. I do this 3 times, a triple evac and flush with dry nitrogen. And no, the nitrogen doesn't absorb the moisture, it sweeps the moisture. Hold it, I gotta put my hand down to put the phone down. And so here's our arrangement. We're on the high side, we're on the low side. We're drawing a vacuum right now. The high and low are open to the vacuum. You understand that, you got that. We're at 266 microns right now. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to flush dry nitrogen through the yellow hose. I'm gonna shut off the low side hose, so the nitrogen path will go in this direction and down and up in the high side, just like the compressor goes. So here we go. Watch the pressures. Close off the vacuum. I only want to hit about 1-2 psi, 0, whatever, doesn't matter, it's not that important. You're just sweeping. So any of the refrigerant leftover or moisture molecules that have come out to the surface of the pipe, the metal, everything is just staying there static. It's not coming out of the system. Or by sweeping with dry nitrogen, you're pushing it forward over to the low side. Here we go. Close, go. Open. Where do we rest? We're at a negative. A little squirt again. We're at 0. Fine. That's perfect. That's all you need. You don't need any more than this. So now you're going to close the high side. We are now closed on the high side. You're going to pull from the low side only. So we open the low side. Remember, we're off here. We have no nitrogen. And now we're going to pull on the low side. And everything that was pushed through to the low side is now getting drawn out. You're closed on the high side, open on the low side, and you're pulling the refrigerant through the low and down out the vacuum, going out the vacuum pump. Boom, out like that. You got it? Perform that 3 times. So now what I'm going to wait for this to do, I'm going to wait for this to go. Now what I did in between every one, I go, because I can do it with this vacuum pump, I could go down to below 500 microns, below 300 microns, below 200 microns really easy in between my nitrogen flushes. And it takes about 3, 4, 5 minutes, something like that. As you can see, we're getting there pretty damn fast. But once I open up this high side, it'll go back up again. But you can see where we're going. And so pretend this was my first nitrogen flush. This is not my 3rd one. This is actually my 3rd one. So we're going down. Now I'm going to open up the high side too. And so my high side is open. And I'm going to wait for this to get down below 300 microns. And then if I was going to perform this again, let's say this is below 500, below 300, whatever the number is, doesn't matter. I would shut off. Let's go through this again. I shut off the low side. I shut the vacuum, and I would open the nitrogen, and because the high side is open, it would go down the common flow of the flow in the direction of the refrigerant, and it would go through the system and then go in reverse order. Close off the high side, reopen the low side, and reopen the vacuum and draw it down again. Did you understand that? You've seen me done this in a few videos before, but I just thought I'd throw out a refresher video on doing a quick, simple nitrogen sweep. We are turning this one out from the original R12 to R134, and that's it on this one. Just a little old beater drive around car, weekend voyeur.